Bill Barr, there's like a little testimony from him today or whatever. He did a deposition or some shit, but Bill Barr's dad is inextricably linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Dude, this shit goes deep, guys. Think about this, okay? Think about who was in Donald Trump's orbit, right? 𝗙𝗪𝗪 was the labor secretary. Bill Barr became his attorney general. Bill Barr's dad, Donald Barr, was the headmaster of the Dalton School when Jeffrey Epstein got a job there as a teacher with no credentials.
Let me assure you that this case will continue on against anyone who was complicit with Epstein. Any co-conspirators should not rest easy. The victims deserve justice, and they will get it.
That was former Attorney General Bill Barr in 2019, 2 days after convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his jail cell.
Now, by the way, we should note that Bill Barr didn't do shit about investigating this, okay? Isn't it weird, though, guys? Just think about this, guys. The FBI had investigated Epstein. Early on, Epstein gets busted in 2005. The cops who build the case call up the FBI. The FBI strolls in, does an investigation. 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧, the U.S. attorney down there, they cut the sweetheart deal. Epstein is free. He gets off. Immunity. All his co-conspirators get immunity. Now, years later, Bill Barr becomes the head of the DOJ, the attorney general. But now Bill Barr's dad is the guy who initially hired Epstein at the Dalton School. So Trump's labor secretary was the guy who let him off, and his AG was the son of the guy who basically opened the door to Epstein's high-class connections, because that's how Epstein got into that world, was through the Dalton School. So, dude, that's freaky. Why would Trump have multiple people in his cabinet that were all about the protection or the curating of Epstein? Former Attorney General Bill Barr told House investigators on Monday that he never saw anything that could tie President Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein's sordid crimes. He said that he had never seen anything that would implicate President Trump in any of this, and that he believed if there had been anything pertaining to President Trump with respect to the Epstein list, that he felt like the Biden administration would probably have leaked it out. Now, again, this is the narrative they're running with. Trump can't be in there because Biden and all those people would have already released it. But clearly, whoever is covering this up is like deep. It feels like it's about the FBI. Maybe it's about the intelligence. We don't know who it's about. The other thing, though, is we do have to look at who Bill Barr is, because Bill Barr is the guy who's now testifying on Trump's behalf, saying, you know what? I've never seen anything. This is Epstein in 1975. Look at him. Dude, what in the welcome back Cotter? Dude. Oh my God, bro. Dude, it's Vinny Barbarino. The Dalton School is a college prep school in New York City. It is on the Upper East Side, right across from Central Park. Look at this shit. $70,000 a year, guys. It is one of the most elite private schools in the area. So the people going to this school are the wealthiest of the wealthy. But wait till you get into this, guys, because it gets weird how Jeffrey Epstein got into the world of these wealthy people. Some students at the esteemed Manhattan Prep School recall that Mr. Epstein, now charged with sex trafficking, was willing to violate norms in his encounters with girls. Now, he got let go, guys. He got let go because of his behavior with women. In the mid-1970s, students at one of New York's most esteemed prep schools were surprised to encounter a new teacher who pushed the limits on the school's strict dress code, wandering the halls in a fur coat, gold chains, and an open shirt that exposed his chest. The teacher, Jeffrey Epstein, would decades later face allegations that he coerced and trafficked teenagers for sex. At the Dalton School on the Upper East Side, some students saw Mr. Epstein as an unusual and unsettling figure willing to violate the norms in his encounters with girls. 8 former students who attended the prestigious school during Epstein's short tenure said that his conduct with teenage girls had left an impression that had lingered for decades. One former student recalled him showing up at a party where students were drinking, while most remembered his persistent attention on the girls in hallways and classrooms. I can remember thinking at the time, this is wrong, said 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗵𝗹𝗀, who graduated in 76. None of the female students who spoke to the New York Times in recent days remembered Epstein making unwanted physical contact with them, and he has not been accused of any crimes related to his time at the school. But a few students said they had been discomfited by a close relationship he had with one of their female peers, a concern that had escalated so much that one of them had raised the issue then to a school administrator. Now, again, guys, you know who the headmaster of this school was? Donald Barr, Bill Barr's daddy, okay? That's where it gets so weird. Dalton has long been known for its rigorous academics, okay, among the best private schools, while drawing the sons and daughters of New York's titans of finance, media, and art. Mr. Epstein's time at Dalton was brief, and an administrator said it ended in a dismissal. While Mr. Epstein later developed a reputation in the world of finance as a man of brilliance, the administrator told the Times that he had dismissed Epstein for poor performance. And this is what's crazy, guys, is this is one of the most prestigious private college prep schools in the country, and Epstein didn't even have a teaching certificate, guys. He had no postgraduate degree. He didn't have a teaching certificate, and yet he got hired to teach in one of the most prestigious private schools in the country. How does that work? Right? Right? That's fucked up. Dude, what are they doing? Okay, there he is. Look at him. This is him in 76, bro. Oh, shit. Dude, what a con this guy is, bro. So creepy. I can't get over the welcome back Cotter hair, dude. Like much of the rest of the country, the Dalton School in the 70s was in the midst of a culture war. The school, which had been a progressive haven for the children of artists and writers, was undergoing a shift under the new headmaster, Donald Barr, the father of Attorney General William Barr. In February of 1974, Barr had announced he was resigning as headmaster, protesting the meddling by the Board of Trustees, but that he would stay on until the end of the school year. It is unclear whether Mr. Barr hired Mr. Epstein during that time. Barr left, and Epstein was in there. So Epstein from Brooklyn was just 21 when he joined the faculty at Dalton, arriving without a college degree. Jeffrey Epstein got hired by Donald Barr. I mean, we can't verify that he got hired by Donald Barr, but, you know, he had no college degree, and he got hired as a teacher in one of the top prep schools in the whole country. He was a math and physics teacher, guys, with no college degree. Process that for a minute. The highest level college prep school in the entire Manhattan area with the most elite families, and Donald Barr hired Epstein with no college degree to teach math and physics. How? Right? Miss 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗃 remembered him as a flamboyant dresser and lively jokester. He was goofy and like a kid himself, she recalled. Miss 𝗙cie𝗶𝗃 said she became close to Mr. Epstein at a time when she was struggling at home with their parents' divorce. Now, this, guys, is sort of like giving you an eye into how these people operate, because she became close to him when her parents were going through a divorce. And that's what it is about these abusers, is they can smell the vulnerable, right? They can. They have like a detector that they can just find it. She said he listened. I was a 14-year-old and he helped me through a time when there wasn't anybody else to talk to. I felt like he really cared and I was having a rough go. She stressed that he was always professional with her. But other students, including Millicent Young, a graduate of the school's 1976 class, saw things differently. Miss Young never had Mr. Epstein as a teacher, but the school was small enough that she would spend time around him. She recalled observing Mr. Epstein flirting with the girls at the school, which drew her attention because it was so different from how the other teachers behaved. There was a real clarity of the inappropriateness of the behavior, that this isn't how adult male teachers conduct themselves, Miss Young said. Mr. 𝗙𝗍𝗍, the fellow student who graduated the same year, said he had a clear recollection of disliking Epstein because he was spending so much time with girls in the school. Some other students spoke on condition of anonymity, fearing retribution from Epstein. One recalled that he had made efforts to spend time with her outside of school. Right, dude, these are young fucking girls, man. And she remembered raising concerns about Epstein's conduct with another student to Mr. Dunnan. An attorney for Mr. Dunnan said the former headmaster had not been aware of any concerns about Epstein's conduct at the school. Another student, who also requested anonymity, fearing reprisals from Mr. Epstein, recalled seeing Mr. Epstein at a high school party in an apartment on the Upper East Side where students were drinking and socializing. Mr. Epstein was the only teacher there, which raised eyebrows among the students. So he was a high school teacher who was at a party where kids were fucking drinking, bro. Dude, that is so out of pocket, okay? It was weird, said another student, Paul Grossman, who did not attend the party, but remembers hearing about it. Everyone talked about it, he said. Peter Branch, who was an interim headmaster after Barr and later the head of the high school, was not fond of Epstein's teaching. He said he did not recall anyone raising concerns about Epstein's conduct with students, but that he had heard concerns from the faculty about Epstein's teaching and eventually determined the teacher needed to go. Dude, isn't that crazy? This is Bill Barr's dad. Okay, so Donald Barr was in the Office of Strategic Services. He was somebody that was in the first American intelligence agency. So OSS was before the CIA. He was the head of the Dalton School from 64 to 74. In 73, though, here's where it gets weird. In 73, Barr published Space Relations, a science fiction novel about a planet ruled by oligarchs who engage in child slavery. It has been noted that the plot of the novel anticipates the crimes of Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. So he writes a book about oligarchs who engage in child slavery on this planet. And he writes that book and releases it, publishes it a year before he hires Epstein to work at the Dalton School to be a teacher of math and physics with no college degree. Isn't that wild? I mean, you can't make this shit up, guys. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.